Well, thank you so much for staying with us. You're on till this morning on ITV. And here in our Lagos studio, our major attention is to commemorate the Armed Forces Remembrance Day, which happens to be every year on January 15th. And of course, this is another January 15th for us to talk about the challenges, things that should be done, and everything regarding Armed Forces Remembrance Day. So, Armed Forces Remembrance Day is celebrated on January 15th every year in Nigeria. It is a day to honor and remember the country's fallen heroes who have made the ultimate sacrifice in the defense of the nation. Well, this day is marked with various ceremonies, including wreath-laying ceremonies at national monuments and memorials, parades and processions by the Nigerian Armed Forces, special church services and prayers for the fallen heroes, visits to the homes of fallen heroes' families by government officials and military personnel. The day serves as a reminder of the sacrifices made by the Nigerian Armed Forces in defending the country's sovereignty and territorial integrity. It's also an opportunity to appreciate the bravery and selflessness of the nation's military personnel. Well, today we will be paying tribute to the fallen heroes. And joining me to do justice to all of this is Lieutenant Commander Bala Ali, Nigerian Navy Ship Jubilee, joins us live this morning from Akwa Ibom. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. It is my pleasure to be with you this morning. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much
Good
for
morning to
joining.
all of you.
So I would love us to kickstart. I would love you to kickstart with sharing, a significant battle in the history of Nigeria regarding the military and the armed forces.
Well, it is a very wide, briefly, as usual, April 15th of January of every year, this session comes up. Going back the history, what happens during that is from 1955. That was we had the first coup, and it failed them able to succeed. And thereafter, it emanated or led to the emergence of civil war, which began in 1967, 15th January 1970. This year marks 50 armed forces remember. As you ask, the importance of this, being a military man is not easy. And as I said initially, it is a very wide discussion. Let me ask to our dear listeners, let us zoom into the eyes and imagine how Nigeria would be without military. Can we be able to travel? No. Can we be able to save from bandits? No. Can we be able to succeed in our day-to-day movement? No. Can we be able to tackle the issue of insecurity in the Northeast, Northwest? No, we don't have much in Southwest. No. If all this, no. The coup that was about to take place in 1965 or thereabouts, what happened then? If not because of the efforts of the military, what do you think will happen? There are so many issues that happens before. So many so many protests and other things like that. If you remember last year, end bad government happens, like the protests. What happens because of the effort of the military? What do you think will happen? You and I will not get it right. So the significance of being a military man of the forces is very, very wide. we cannot be able to mention all. But just as I asked, if you
Right.
ask yourself, the crime, bandits, bad government, protests, you cannot travel, so many things.
Right.
So it is a very good idea.
Right, so Lieutenant Ali, just for emphasis, I would love to still reiterate the question again, perhaps ask in another dimension. So today is World or Armed Forces Remembrance Day. What is the significance of today, really?
Yeah. The significance of today, uh, from what happened the first of Remembrance Day, it is a day where a federal government, state governments, local government, and all organizations honor our fallen heroes. Before, they used to celebrate only fallen heroes. But if you remember last year, that was 2024, the title has been changed from Armed Forces Remembrance Day. That is, we used to remember only the fallen heroes, but it has been changed to Armed Forces Celebration and Remembrance Day. To tell you that we celebrate the serving personnel that are still active in the service as well as all heroes because of the efforts they have been making to secure this nation. Coming down to the layman's hand for heroes, it helps actually. One, for example, their families are missing. If it is a wife that lost her husband, she'll be missing him. Children that lost their fathers, they will be missing him. So it is a day that will make them happy, especially our religion, while we have support from the state government, we have support from the federal government, especially the renewal agenda of this present administration. It helps. Various state government organize welfare for the military. So if you go around, you find out that it is very important. It is very important to the entire armed forces, each service personnel, as well as the heroes, that is their the families they left behind.
Now, speaking about celebration, just as he has said that it's not only about remembrance of our fallen heroes, we also need to celebrate, every single person who is still alive at this moment and is doing really extremely well for the country Nigeria. But in your own opinion and your own view, what do you think actually is the best way to honor our fallen heroes?
It's a very good question. The best way as introduced is to take care of the families of the fallen heroes. For example, we know in the military, any military man that listens to me now, he knows. Let us relate now. The service will be able to take care of my family, my children, right from their primary school, study school, high institution. Pick up them, four of them, they'll take care of them. And also, the debt benefit and other benefit will come to them. And as mentioned, we have an organization, a veterans organization. It's an association, as we know, that takes care of what the retired personnel or the families of the late ones. So they have an organization, they have everything. If have problem, for example, the late ones, if they have problem, they will channel their problem to the organization. Then if it is beyond the organization capacity, they will forward it to the higher authority. And that's how it works. And I'm telling you, this thing has been working. We have some improvement. And any late fallen hero, their families, his family, or our family, that the case may be, they are being taken care of, as mentioned earlier. And that's how it's supposed to be. Additionally, let me also, it's not only the responsibility of the state government, it's not only the responsibility of local government, it's not the responsibility of federal government alone. It involves you and I. For example, if I know a friend of mine who is late, who happened to be a military man before, and is no more alive again, and I know his family, it is good. You can do something to make them happy. I think if we try as much as possible to put this practice. It will be actually beneficial and appreciated to the all families of fallen heroes.
Now, still speaking about the families of the fallen heroes, I'd love to find out if there are any, laid down packages for them, really, and what are some of the challenges they get to face over time.
Okay, yes, as mentioned, let me repeat what I said before. The package is there. The package is there. Any fallen hero, for example, if someone dies today, we have what we call next of him. That next of him will be able to carry out the process on how to get the death benefits of that particular person that is late. So all the entitlement will be to him as next of him. And when it comes to him, he is the way it's supposed to be. That is one. Then the second package, as mentioned, we have an organization that's military pension board. If, for example, the foreign hero, a retired person, he has a package of what his retirement benefit. He will collect the retirement benefit and he will keep on benefiting until and unless he's no more alive. That's another package. Then another package as well, the state government nations, all of them, they have been organized as a package and they are taking care of them. And at the same time, the mannerism of these armed forces, remember, they will have what we call emblem. The president will launch it, then after launching, before launching, he will make a promise of a certain token. When that token comes, it will also go down to the families of the heroes. The same thing with the governors, the same thing with the local government. They also do the same thing. So there are so many packages. And if, for example, they have problem, they will tell it as mentioned to the organization. I'm telling you, that organization has been doing it and they'll keep on doing what as mentioned earlier.
Right. So today being Armed Forces Remembrance Day, indeed, is a day to actually talk about and to remember our fallen heroes. I have been speaking to Lieutenant Commander Bala Ali, Nigerian Navy ship Jubilee, right there in Akwa Ibom State. We go on a break now. When we return, we'll talk about some of the activities that get to happen on this day. Well, many thanks for staying with us. Today being January 15, 2025 is a significant day in Nigeria where we tend to commemorate and also celebrate the armed forces for everything they have done thus far in the fight for the country, Nigeria. My guest, Lieutenant Commander Bala Ali, Nigerian Navy ship Jubilee, right there in Akwa Ibom, joining virtually this morning. So earlier on, I did mention that there are several activities that usually, shape today, and usually it doesn't just start from today. It would have started from a couple of days ago, and likes of parades, processions by the Nigerian armed forces. So aside the parades we will definitely see in Abuja this morning and other places as well, are there other activities that gets to, shape today?
Today, as you before the day, armed forces parade has been been on rehearsal. I mean, so today as the D-Day is the last day. Then thereafter, there will be no any occasion. All other things, as mentioned, have been taking place before the day. So the last day. However, as mentioned, after the launching of emblem governors as well as the president, whatever comes out, that is in terms of support from the government, state government, federal government, it will also go down the families and loved ones of the fallen heroes.
Now, what are some of the lessons? What are some of the lessons really that we can learn from, the sacrifices of our fallen heroes?
Some of the lessons for us to learn, as mentioned before, one of the lessons is for us to be assisting one another. One. Then secondly, is for us to make sacrifice. When it comes to the security of the nation, it's not only restricted to the military men or personnel, the case may be. It is my responsibility. For example, a civilian, it is your responsibility. Anywhere. For example, when you have an insecurity in your area, it's not only the military that will tackle that issue. If I'm sent to, for example, new area, I must get together with ones so that we'll be able to find out the problem and way out so that we'll put it together and iron out the problem.
Okay, interesting. So just recently in the news, we saw that the Nigerian army, the Nigerian military personnel have been prohibited from engaging in homosexuality, cross-dressing and other acts deemed contrary to the ethics of the armed forces. And we actually saw President Bola Tinubu, being vehement on that stand. How would you react to this news? And what really is going on?
Yes, in organization, you must have good and bad ones. And one thing with military is a very disciplined environment. You can't be in the military without being disciplined. That's one key. You work on directive. You work on order. Therefore, whatever you are being directed to do, you must carry it out. All the do's and don'ts you must obey. You must be in practice with all the rules and regulations. If by any means you fail to apply the directive problem, and as such you serve the job as the case may be. And another thing also on the same issue, as mentioned, military is a very well organized organization. One, why I say so? As mentioned, the issue of homosexuality, the issue we have our acts. So whatever you do, if it contradicts the Armed Forces Act, you punish according to the punishment in that act. And if it also contradicts the constitution of the nation, you also, and that's why, as you mentioned, it happens, and this is what happens to them. That means, so it's a very disciplined place, and we don't compromise. We must always obey the rules and regulations, so long as you want to prosper. And finally, on this issue, assume you are maybe the head of your family, the head of the family, the father or the mother. Let's say the father. You have rules and regulations. Will you be happy if a child goes against your rule, or your order, or your directive? You think you are the one that give birth to him, and at the same time he's growing up. He thinks somehow, he feels somehow, and he feels to disobey. You will never be happy. And if you want unity in that particular family, all the rules and regulations must be obeyed and must be complied and also must be carried out. So the same thing with military. Without being disciplined, we can't achieve what we have achieved before.
Speaking about children, as you have mentioned, what do you think the school and the educational system can actually do to ensure that they also get to have a feel and understand the importance of today?
Okay. Sorry, the line.
Okay, so I was saying, how can we educate younger generations about the importance of Armed Forces Remembrance Day?
Okay. It's a very nice question. Well, how can we educate the younger ones about the importance of armed forces? Yes. One, we start from scratch going by the history. Historians they know what I'm saying. So giving them background of what really happens right from independence, coming to the independence, and it continues like that. What happened during the civil? How many people were? How many people were injured? How many wealth, properties people lost, and other things. So by giving them that kind of examples, definitely it will what come to their minds. Okay, if anything goes wrong to the ethics of the country, of the nation, that nation will find it easy. So military is the only hope, is the only source, is the only way out, whether we like it or not. Is the only is when things go wrong or when things go bad. So by giving them this kind of they will give respect to the military. And some of them I have before they join military because of that kind of orientation. I must train them. And today, thank God, he is in the military. Because of what? All that kind of examples we've been giving them, we've been telling them. It's an organization where you have, let me not just all, you have right. Definitely, by telling them opportunity, some privileges. So by telling them all this, definitely they'll be to serve their nation as mentioned, and as it happened to some of our fallen heroes, they will be willing also to support the military, even if they have not been able to join up.
So you said something about history, and you were so vehement regarding history and how important it is for schools to, go back to the history, and let's talk about some of the things that happened in the country a couple of years ago, pre-independence, independence, and of course post-independent as well. But I would love you to begin to highlight some of those fallen heroes who have played significant and pivotal role in the building of the nation.
Okay, thank you for that question. So there are plenty, there are much, but just as you said, let me recall Colonel Abu Ali, Colonel Abu Ali, then and became a colonel because of the effort, for example, he made in the battlefield. He sacrificed his life, and what happened? He tried by all means. Uh, are you with me?
Right, go ahead, please.
It's breaking. Okay, as I was saying, he tried by all means. Okay. He tried by all means to what protect his family, personnel under him. Then, and he pushed himself to the extent that he will not leave that environment where he was and where he was killed until he was so the last or until he was able to finish or to carry out the tax given to him. And as such, he was killed there. And there are so many of them. Just mention only one. There are so many of them. And because of that, so many of them have been able to what? Achieve the presidential commission. What we call by presidential commission is that because of the effort made in Northeast, Northwest, and so many regions, for promotion, you will not be promoted. We have some certain number of years before you get promotion. But because of the effort they made, then many of them were able to get presidential commission. So there are a lot of them, which time will
Okay.
not allow us to mention.
Right. Thank you so much for trying to share in a couple of persons who have done really well in the nation building of the country. Lieutenant Commander Bala Ali, Nigerian Navy Ship Jubilee, thank you for joining us this morning to talk about this.
Thank you so much. I really
Right.
appreciate it.
So hopefully we have another time to talk about some interesting issues regarding the security situation of the country. But I'd love to say that may the labor of our heroes past never be in vain. That's our bit this morning in Lagos.